Hey, welcome to another brand new episode of Undisputed Nerds, where we like to talk about comic book movie news, comic book movies, TV shows. Do we talk about video games? Sometimes we do.
We do sometimes. Yeah, I think we started the show last week by saying that what we'd played this week.
Yeah, we salt and pepper it in now and again, don't we?
We do. Yeah, that's a lovely way of saying it. So in my ever aging appearance, with salt and pepper it in. Yes.
By the way, it's your boys. I'm Zane Taisho. He's the Gentlemanly Gamer. Welcome to another new episode.
Hello, everyone in Radio Land. Yes, yeah, I'm salt and peppering as we speak. Yes. How are you, Zane? It's been a good week. Are you still in recovery from the phenomenon that was the Batman?
Oh, I've seen it twice now.
Have you? Oh yeah, you went with your wife as well, didn't you?
Yeah. She got jealous that we saw it together. So
Good. If you're listening to this, Zane wife, it's going to happen more, so you're going to get more jealous.
But I can also confirm, how last week, by the way, check out our review on the Batman. Last week we said how there was a lot of hue and a saturation.
It was a tinge dark, yes.
I can confirm, seeing it in a different cinema with a different projector, all sharp. Can make things out even better. Yeah,
I thought it might have been. That screen that we were in was a little bit judged. It does go to show that the quality of that film, where it's even though the projector was broken, we still were like, this is amazing. So yeah, spoilers, guys, it's amazing. If you don't know by now. Zane, what's happening this week? Because quite frankly, my mind is gone and been blown to a smithereens. So I must know, what are we talking about this week, Zane Taicho?
This week we are going to have a little discussion about the Disney Investor Day, Investor Call, whatever you want to call it. I happened to sit and watch it and made some notes, and I think there's some unique points we could talk about.
So what you're telling me is this week there's nothing coming out, and we were desperate for something to talk about, and luckily Disney Investor Day happened. That's what you're telling me.
I mean, salt and pepper.
He's really going. Have you listened to Salt and Pepper recently? Is that what it is? You listened to the band, and now you're really into it.
I
what a man! What a man! What a mighty good man! That's copyright. We don't own it. Don't come after us, guys. Yes. No, there was some great. I mean, if those of you who are wondering what the hell the Disney Investor Day is, effectively it was a whole bunch of stuff that was released talking about upcoming projects and all kinds of money media stuff that we'll talk about. The biggest of which was the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer, which if you haven't seen it yet, go and watch it, because we're going to be talking about it quite a lot in this show. But
absolutely,
Zane, what happens before all of these? It's our regularly recurring segments, is it not?
It is time. We have tips and bits, but before tips and bits, we got some Rage Against the Cage, right?
Oh, it's Rage Against the Cage now, is it? We're raging against the cage. I like to say it's What's All the Rage with Nicolas Cage, because I don't want to get into the Saturday Night Live copyright of Time for a Rage in the Cage, where Andy Samberg does an impression of Nicolas Cage. So yeah, it's our regularly recurring segment. What's All the Rage with Nicolas Cage? Oh, it's not working again, Zane. You need to get better. Your deck is terrible. What was that? That was really quiet. Go on.
Obviously, you have a tendency to overreact.
That's Nicolas Cage actually talking to me directly, because he's a friend of the show. So he does tell me I have a habit of overreacting. And he said just to remember, bring it back to thespian level. Thespian level. Right, so we've been hearing many varied, a crazy thing about Nicolas Cage. Obviously, his new film is coming out soon, in which he is the star, but also the subject, the unbearable weight of acting talent. But we mentioned last week that he's got something of a spending habit, does old Cagey boy, doesn't he, Zane? Doesn't he? I mean, last week we talked about his ownership of a stolen dinosaur skull. Well, this week it's a humdinger again. I'm just going to read this one out to you, Zane. Brace yourself. All right. Here's the header. He bought the most haunted mansion in the world so that he could write a horror novel. What better atmosphere to compose a scary bunch of prose than a haunted house? Well, this was Nicolas Cage's motivation for purchasing the LaLaurie Mansion in New Orleans in 2007, which once belonged to the serial killer Madame Delphine LaLaurie.
Wow.
He lost it. He lost it to foreclosure in 2009. So he bought it in 2007, lost it in 2009. Direct quote from Vanity Fair. I didn't get very far with the novel.
Oh no.
Just right. So I'm gonna say something, and then I'm gonna give a hook for next week as well.
Okay.
His spending habits are the weirdest things I have ever experienced reading on the internet. Like, this man is he's probably got like a house that could basically be Area 51, the amount of rubbish he's got in there. I mean, he's such a weird, because he's also the guy who slept in Dracula's house to get inspiration for a movie.
Yes.
Zane, as a fairly normal human, would you buy a serial killer house just to write a horror novel?
No. Isn't that kind of the plot line to Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters Studio 66?
I think it is, yeah. What, do you think they based it after Nicolas Cage's life?
Just take that unique point and just kind of Foo Fighted it up a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They saw that story about Nicolas Cage buying the serial killer mansion, and they thought, I'll tell you what this needs, more Foo.
More Dave Grohl.
Yeah. Anyway, that is this week's What's All the Rage with Nicolas Cage. I'm gonna give you a hook for next week's one, because holy tits is next week's one crazy. It involves him and a cat, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Wow.
And I will leave that for next week's. So tune in for next week's What's All the Rage with Nicolas Cage, because good God Almighty, it's amazing.
I'm just having a brainwave. And this is, I guess, a spoiler for our own show. At the investors meeting, they announced there'll be a National Treasure. I think it's a series.
Oh God.
Jerry Bruckheimer's back for it, and I think Catherine Zeta-Jones as well is going to be an executive.
Oh, great! That's always you always know it's a first-class blockbuster when they wheel out Catherine Zeta-Jones to be in it.
But then I'm just thinking, like, do you think they could do a National Treasure just on his house? Like,
oh my God, that would be amazing.
Can you imagine?
They have to open his pyramid tomb.
Yes.
This is
brilliant. And inside it is like Action Comics #1.
Oh yes, that's great. And they have to get through the dinosaur mouth as it like opens and closes. This is brilliant. We need to write National Treasure 5. Journey to the center of the cage. I've just put a picture into our kind of chat window for those of you who are watching it. I just want to point out, this is the image that comes up for next week's Rage in the Cage. So just if you get that up on screen, you can see exactly how mental this is.
Isn't this from a National Treasure?
I think it is, yeah. Listen. Nicolas Cage provides us with what I can only describe as hours of entertainment, as well as incredible acting talent. So look, he'd be off the scale on our Richard E. Grant scale of acting talent. So let's not even
off the scale.
I'm gonna have to find out like Richard E. Grant facts after we're done with Nicolas Cage, aren't I? I'm gonna have to replace it with something. But yes, anyway, that was the Nick Cage news this week, guys. So let's go into our other recurring segment, a bit of the old tips and bits, Zane.
Hey.
So we're shrinking down a bit with tips and bits, so we're doing less articles because I witter on. Let's be honest. So we've got 4 this week, and they're all from different walks of life. That's right. I've been out there. I've been picking some crazy things. Yes. Now, the first bit of news that we've got to talk about is quite controversial, and I'm going to get it out of the way. I just wanted to get Zane's 2 cents on it because it is also kind of crazy. So it's not the best source in the world, but unfortunately they are a reputable newspaper. So I say reputable, but I don't like them. The Mail Online is reporting that The Boys actor Anthony Starr has received a 12-month suspended prison sentence after admitting to a drunken assault on a chef in Spain. Yeah. He's currently in the country working on Guy Ritchie's untitled next movie and was forced to pay over $5,000 in compensation. The statement from the court official, said a speedy trial ended up taking place, and Alicante Court of Investigation Number 9, acting as a duty court, sentenced the arrested man to 12 months in prison and the payment of a fine of £4,141 for a crime of wounding. The detainee's state of drunkenness was taken into account as an extenuating factor. His prison sentence is being suspended on the condition that he doesn't commit another crime in 2 years. So, for those of you who don't know, Anthony Starr is Homelander in The Boys. It doesn't say how this has affected anything for his role coming up or anything like that. If he stays out of trouble, he's not going to be in prison. But your reaction to Anthony Starr being a very bad boy and really needs to stay off the sauce?
Yeah, wow. Surprising. Dare I say it's been a long time, since a celebrity is kind of I remember growing up in the 90s and hearing about is it Kurt Russell? No, not Kurt Russell. I'm thinking of
the Saint Kurt Russell. Can't be Kurt Russell.
No. I'm trying to think of who plays as Superman's dad in Man of Steel.
In Man of Steel, Russell Crowe.
Yeah. Russell Crowe, yeah.
How could you forget? Well, that's somebody we should do that's who we should do a deep dive on, like the Nicolas Cage thing. Oh, the incredible acting talent of Russell Crowe. Oh,
God, what a legacy.
Sorry. Yeah, he was a bad boy in his day, wasn't
he? Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
The other person I could think of is Colin Farrell as well. He was a very bad boy back in the day.
Yeah.
And obviously the chokeslam specialist Ezra Miller. He's obviously a bad boy too. So yes, it's been a little while. You're right, Zane.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm fine.
You love it when I refer to him as that, don't you?
I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, it's a sad thing because I mean I think that his performance in The Boys is fantastic. You're right. I've lost him. We're not laughing at this article. I just want to point out, guys, we're laughing at the continual taking the piss out of Ezra Miller because he deserves it. Yes, I think he's fantastic in The Boys. Like, he's incredible in The Boys as Homelander, and we do really love him as Homelander. So it's sad that unfortunately I don't know whether this is like going to become a recurring thing of him. Like, you know, he needs to stay off the source kind of thing. But yeah, a bit of sad news to start off the show this week. Stop laughing, Zane. All right. While Zane has a minor cardiac arrest over there, I will move on to the next bit of news. So, Zane, this is a show that seems to just continually go on and on and on. I used to love it. But unfortunately, I think it's very much outstayed its welcome. The Walking Dead has got its final season coming up on AMC. It's still going. Oh, yeah, it's still going. Yeah. But I know what you're thinking, but we haven't seen enough of The Walking Dead. We want more, right?
More. Yeah.
There's all that thing about Rick Grimes. There's Fear the Walking Dead. There's all these other shows going on. Well, yeah. You know what? Don't worry, Zane. Don't worry. AMC's got you back because they've announced that apparently they're going to do a Walking Dead show featuring Maggie and Negan.
What?
The Walking Dead final season continues on AMC. The network has announced that yet another spin-off show is in the works, and this one will focus on bitter enemies turned uneasy allies, Negan Smith and Maggie Rhee.
Oh,
Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Lauren Cohen will reprise their respective roles for the show, which is titled Isle of the Dead. The story will follow the pair as they explore a post-apocalyptic New York City. I mean, do you want me to read the blurb that the guy from entertainment at AMC Studios has said? I mean, you can pretty much imagine it. This is great. We're expanding this world. Blah blah blah. Loads of people are going to love it. Blah blah blah. Look forward to exploring this universe. Blah blah blah. Blah, blah, blah. Thoughts on another season of The Walking Dead?
All I want from those two actors is
I know exactly
to
what
be in a Flashpoint version where he's Batman, Thomas Wayne, and she's Joker, Martha Wayne. Spoilers for Flashpoint.
Yeah, a book that's like, what, 12 years old now or something like that?
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say. I mean, I tuned out of The Walking Dead, I think, at like when the Negan War started. What was that, season 7 or something like that?
There was a whole episode of what was his son called? Trying to get ice cream, and I was like, you know what? I'm just out.
Oh yeah,
I'm so done.
Coral. The thing for me, it just the Negan stuff was intriguing, but it got very old very quickly. And then they killed off Stephen Oog, who was in it. He was amazing. He is Trevor from Grand Theft Auto 5. If those people are not knowing who he is. And then like I was going to go back to it, and then I saw they killed off Rick, and I was like, I don't care. I don't care anymore. Like that series should have finished season 6, season 7 when they got it to Alexandria. That should have been the end of it.
Yeah.
But there you go. Anyway, so for those of you who love The Walking Dead, still, well, I just don't know who's still watching it. That's the thing that really outraged. Sorry, I realized that was a burst of rage that came in at the end there. I wasn't expecting that. I just don't know who the hell is watching it. Like I don't know. I honestly, I am part of the group of people, along with yourself, who I knew loads of people who loved it, and it was like a talking point in work. I still remember when we had the recreation of the scene from the comic books where Negan has them all in a semicircle, and who's he going to kill? Like, I remember that being a big office topic. Like, and like, oh my god, he's going to kill him or him or him, and it was huge. And I don't know anyone in my real life who still watches that show. I just, me included. So I don't know who the hell's still watching it that they can just spawn off all these spin-offs. That being said, apparently Fear the Walking Dead is apparently very good. So I've never seen it, but if you're interested, go and watch it. All right. I think it's safe to say we here at the Undisputed Nerds are not very excited to see the latest spin-off of The Walking Dead.
Sadly not, no.
All right, so Marvel news. Let's hit some Marvel news up before the Investor Day. Blade. It may have been revealed where Mahershala Ali's Daywalker will make his MCU debut. Now, obviously, we know that he technically made his debut in the Eternals, yada, 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 blah, 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 because let's face it, it wasn't a real thing because nobody even realized where it was him, you know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that, Jon Snow. Anyway, so I'll read the whole thing. So, although LA did technically feature in the Eternals post-credits scene, which obviously his voice was off screen, the Cosmic Circus is reporting that the Daywalker will make his first actual appearance in the upcoming Disney Plus Halloween special, which is believed to be based on Werewolf by Night.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is a rumor. Take it with a pinch of salt. The site doesn't really have much more to add, but they've had quite a few significant scoops in the past that have panned out. So it is definitely worth paying attention to. The idea is that if Marvel Studios wants to allow more casual fans to become familiar with Blade before he leads his own movie, Werewolf by Night could be the most logical place to introduce the character. It seems like he's shaping up to be more of a team-focused adventure than we'd actually originally thought. So perhaps the hero is going to recruit the werewolf to join his supernatural group, and that's going to be the first introduction to him. Eternals actor Kit Harington is expected to reprise the role of Dane Whitman, and a recent casting call suggested that Blade will introduce Whitman's love interest, which we covered on the show, Excalibur. Apparently, Krypton alum Aaron Pierre is also on board in an undisclosed part for the Blade movie. The still untitled Halloween special is also scheduled to shoot this year and stars Gail Garcia Bernal as the werewolf and Laura Donnelly as Nina Price, aka Vampire by Night. Thoughts, Zane, on the weird kind of introduction of Blade in a very CD character intro?
Yeah, I don't believe it. The special isn't James Gunn supposed to be doing like a Christmas special as well?
Yeah, he's doing the Christmas Guardians.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't really get to experience specials over here in the UK. It's probably fair to say. So I haven't really got anything to kind of base it off, but it feels a bit of a cop out if you're just gonna if you want the audience to be familiar with him, just pop him into different things like the TV shows or the cartoon series. Again, prime example, growing up watching the 94 Spider-Man run, my first introduction to Blade was him in a leather jacket going around trying to get Michael Morbius, riding
a motorbike up the side of a building.
So do that. It's not hard, just get the name out there.
Make him the new Wong.
Yeah,
it just goes around. So. I don't know what's gonna. It's a weird thing because it does seem like they're not very confident on the strength of a solo Blade movie, so they do seem to be throwing him in to do this supernatural team up. I wonder if we're going to get quite a few ramifications out of Doctor Strange, supernaturally speaking. That will be like, oh yeah, that's why they're doing it. They're doing like a big. It's Mephisto, and they need to do a supernatural team up against Mephisto.
And Moon Knight as well. Moon Knight is on our doorstep. Oh my
god, I can't wait for Moon Knight. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see Oscar Isaac's voice. his weird British, I don't know what's going on here. Oh wait,
I can't sleep.
I can't sleep at night. I've got to put on bandages on my head and then let me put in a white suit. I'm Moon Knight, Mr. Knight to you.
I see Conchu everywhere. He's there in the mirrors. He's there in my reflection.
I'm friends with an Egyptian deity. Who'd have thought? Anyway, so yes. Anyway, Blade is going to be. There is a heavy rumor that Blade will be showing up in that Halloween special. I'm with you. I'll believe it when I see it, kind of thing. It would be much more realistic to have a situation like we had at the end of Eternals, where you hear his voice off screen, but you don't actually see him. Yeah, I think that's probably much more likely. It's like, I wouldn't do that if I were you, Mr. Werewolf. But yes, anyway. So the final bit of news that we've got this week, it was almost inevitable, guys. Let's be honest. However, HBO and Warner Brothers have announced today that The Penguin, which is the working title, will officially be coming straight to series order on HBO Max. This news comes as a result of the Batman passing $301 million at the box office worldwide. It is confirmed as a massive hit, second biggest opening of a film since the pandemic, behind Spider-Man No Way Home. The world of I'll read out what the executive at HBO said, just to give you the full kind of ins and outs. So this was who was it? One of the executives at HBO. His surname is Lefranc, and I'm trying to find what his first name is because it's not telling me in the article. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So the show is going to be executive produced by Matt Reeves alongside Dylan Clark, Colin Farrell, and Lauren Lefranc, who also, Lauren Lefranc, interesting bit of note here, she also executive produced Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And she will also write and serve as the showrunner. So I'll read the whole quote. So Colin exploded off the scene as the Penguin and the Batman, and having the chance to go thoroughly into the inner life of that character is an absolute thrill. Reeves said, Dylan and I are so excited to work with Lauren in continuing Oz's story as he grabs violently for power in Gotham. Farrell then added, the world that Matt Reeves created for the Batman is one that warrants a deeper gaze through the eyes of Oswald Cobblepot. I couldn't be more excited about continuing this exploration of Oz as he rises through the darkened ranks to become the Penguin. It will be good to get him back on the streets of Gotham for a little madness and a little mayhem. Lefranc also commented on the news saying, I have long been a fan of the world of the Batman, and Matt's film is such a powerful and bold entry into the canon. I'm excited and humbled to continue telling stories in the grimy world of Gotham City, and what better excuse to channel my inner villain than to tell the story of Oswald Cobblepot. I'm thrilled to work with Colin, Matt, Dylan, Warner Brothers, HBO, Matt. I think this was pretty much guaranteed to happen, wasn't it, Zane? I mean, let's be honest. We saw it coming.
Yeah. There's been loads of news about the spin-offs as well, hasn't there? Because there's not only that, but like the GCPD drama has now changed into an Arkham Asylum show instead.
Yeah, there's still no word on that because it's in a state of flux. Because as you said, it was supposed to focus on Gotham City cops during year one of Batman, corrupt cops as a year one as a vigilante. And now it's evolved into this Arkham mental hospital, possibly even after the events of the Batman. But I mean, just to give you some facts and figures, Batman's made in North America, it's made 155 million. And internationally, it's made 145 million.
Wow.
So there's some 0.6, 0.7 in there as well, which makes it for a grand total of $301 million, which is I know that it's weird because you talk about these figures like in context, like when you think about pre-pandemic, that would almost be a failure when you think about it. But in post-pandemic era, that is a massive smash. When you think about the fact that like Tenet in its final run, I think made something along the lines of like 285 million. You know, something low. It is crazy. And it's like you think about this is the first week. And it's smashed it, you know. So yeah, Batman's a hit. Batman's always a hit. There's going to be more. There's going to be all kinds of different things. And exciting because I'm very excited to see that world coming up. I really am.
Definitely, yeah. Something I just want to get your thoughts on quickly because there was quite a few articles shared on this on our Instagram. Check out Undisputed_Nerds on Instagram. A load of the DC movies have been pushed back to certain dates.
Yes, I did see that. I almost talked about it as well. Kind of weird because it's not. I don't know if it's actually a bad thing. I think it's actually DC reevaluating their slate. Because it's not just that because Shazam got brought forward, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yeah.
So what got pushed back? We got Flash pushed back, Black Adam's pushed back,
and Aquaman. I think
Aquaman 2. That was it. Yeah. So there's two things that spring to mind on that. One, they don't know what they're doing. Two, they do know what they're doing, and they've realized that there's stuff in Shazam 2 that will impact the other films, so they need to move the slates around so that Shazam 2 comes before the Flash, which then becomes before Aquaman 2 and Black Adam. That's the only. That aside from kind of like investor worries or nervies against going up against Marvel movies or anything like that. That's the only thing I can think of to potentially warrant a pushback. Or maybe they need to do reshoots for things. Was there any kind of an official announcements on why they were pushed back?
No, not that I could see. I think a lot of people speculating online that they're pushed back for cameos of Robert Pattinson.
Right. Yeah. Again, I don't know. Is this the Batman set now in this Marvel universe, DC universe? Like, is it supposed to all be connected?
No, I don't think it is. Same way with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. I think it's supposed to be separate old.
I'm sorry, with who?
Joaquin.
I just love the way you say Joaquin.
Joaquin
Phoenix. I love it. It's fantastic. I want to get like an audio clip of you just going Joaquin.
But yeah, they're almost treated like the Black Label or sort of, standalone graphic novels.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really. I'm not. Here's the thing, right? I have become so jaded now by DC movies. Them being put back, I don't really care. Just make them good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like that's all I care about. I don't have a lot of hope at the moment because the one DC movie that apart from the Batman is its own subcategory. You can't really class Batman as part of the wider DC universe because he is just his own category when it comes to movies. But the only DC movie I've really loved in like the last 10 years, was the Suicide Squad, and it bombed like there's no tomorrow. So there won't be anything else like the Suicide Squad. Apart from Peacemaker. I guess Peacemaker's been popular as well, hasn't it? So I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's how do I feel about the movies being pushed back and some being moved forward? Indifference. I don't care. I just don't care.
I need to see Ben Affleck as Batman one last time, so hurry up.
You sad little man. Let it go. Affleck and his pecs are moving on. You can't be nuzzled up into his bosom forever, Zane.
I know. But hey, we've got Keaton. Keaton's back.
He's for now. One movie. Do you honestly think that Michael Keaton is going to reprise his role permanently as Batman? It's not going to happen.
Unless he gets to sit in a chair like Patrick Stewart does.
We've got a better Batman now. We've got Pattinson.
That's true.
And he's a phenomenal Batman. And he is a phenomenal Batman, guys. So, no, the only thing I want Michael Keaton back for is a Batman Beyond movie. That's what I want him back for.
Nice call. Yeah.
Old man Bruce Wayne, Terry McGinnis. That's all I want.
Nice. Should we talk about Disney Investor Day?
Let's talk about the main topic. Yes, let's do it, Zane. You lead the charge, my friend, as I've seen a couple of things from the thing, but I'm not, my main focus was on the old Obi-Wan.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get to that. Don't you worry. So
I am worried.
If you want to, you can check out the actual webcast on Disney site, so you can actually watch and listen to the stakeholders have their chat. Then it goes into the actual presentation of their slate and such. So interestingly, they of course give all the stats of the app Disney Plus. So they've had 196 million subs.
Jesus.
On the app, 12 million new subs in just Q1 of last year.
So wait, is that nearly 200 million since it launched?
Yes. And it's only in 60 countries.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's mad. That is mad. Because wasn't the initial, I think I read a while ago that wasn't the initial investor goal of Disney Plus to be at 200 million subscribers after 5 years or something like that. And they've broken it after almost 2. Yeah.
But one thing they talk about is that they've tried to bunch together a lot of their other content. So, for example, Hulu, ESPN Sports, that all counters into the Disney Plus sort of umbrella.
Does it?
Apparently so. I couldn't say because we don't get that sort of stuff here.
Yeah,
in
I
the
was going to say
UK.
we never get it over in the UK, but that's interesting. Then that is interesting. I mean, I will say this. I mean, Disney Plus is incredible. Like,
Yeah.
I do it on an annual subscription. It's incredibly good value because like everything Star Wars, everything Marvel, and then you've got everything Fox now as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's just like that's crazy good. Like that is crazy good.
You'll like this next bit because this kind of made me giggle a little bit because they mentioned that they've been nominated for 23 Oscars, but out of those 23, some of those include Fox properties. So, for example, Free Guys and what was the other one? Nightmare Alley is another one of those.
Nice.
So I was like, wow, they're not.
What, not the New Mutants?
No,
I'm shocked.
Not that one.
I'm absolutely shocked.
But still, I mean, I guess they can brag that we're nominated for 23 Oscars.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, right? Here's just to riff on that a little bit. The Oscars, okay?
Yeah.
How important are the Oscars nowadays? Really, really, when you think about it, because, like, I mean, I personally feel like since the whole Weinstein scandal. Sure. I feel like these kind of award shows and stuff like that have like dipped a lot in both necessity and prominence. Like, it doesn't feel winning an Oscar is still a big deal, and I get that it like puts you into an upper echelon of like earners and stuff like that because you can say you're an Academy Award winner. But like, is it just me, or do they feel a lot less important than when you and I were growing up?
Yeah, I guess the other part of it as well is that it's, dare I say, they haven't been a true reflection of like audience sort of.
True.
Because for the longest time they never accepted superhero movies, but they've become billion blockbuster smashes, haven't they? Like,
yeah. And what are you talking about? They nominated Spider-Man No Way.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's mental. I don't find the importance in the Oscars anymore. But that's cool that they can do that boast. The 23 or whatever?
23, yeah. Wave the flag. 23.
Hope you do.
But we did get some useful news. So, for example, they announced Thor: Love and Thunder will be out July 8th this year.
Wow! Oh my god! This year? I didn't see that. I thought it was. God, we're in 2022 already, aren't we? Oh my god! Wow, that's really tight. Then, so we're gonna have Doctor Strange in May and then Thor in July.
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild. That's wild, man. Taika Waititi.
And how can you forget we've got Morbius as well in the same year? What a treat! What a
wow. Treat. Sorry, let me do my reactions to those three films. Sorry, Doctor Strange. Wow, it's coming out. I can't wait. Thor: Love and Thunder, 22nd of July. That's amazing. Oh wow, Morbius. Wow. I couldn't care any less about Morbius if I tried. When I was looking at the Tips and Bits news today, there was a picture of there was a screenshot of Matt Smith in it talking to Morbius and stuff, and I couldn't. I was like, I love Matt Smith, but like I couldn't give any less of a monkeys. He's also classically not done the best films, so yeah, I think we've been through this.
Yeah, sadly. But yeah, apparently July 8th. And it's weird because like normally we would probably see a trailer by now, but
yeah, right.
I'm wondering, is there like there's no expo before July? I think expos are usually.
Are you ready for it, baby?
November.
You ready for it?
Yeah.
Doctor Strange post-credit scene.
Okay.
Because they did exactly the same with Spider-Man No Way Home with the Doctor Strange trailer.
You're right, yeah.
So there won't be there'll be a mid-credit scene, and then there'll be a post-credit scene, which will be the trailer.
And then with Spider-Man, they really held out on the trailer, didn't they? They really drawed it out.
Yes, which is why I thought there was going to be a symbiote in it, because technically there was a symbiote in it in the end, technically. But yeah, they really held off on that No Way Home trailer for as long as they could. So yeah, they'll do the same for Thor. I'm 99% sure it'll be the end of Doctor Strange.
Got you. Yeah,
And then it'll
I
be
can see that.
one glorious voiceover of just Patrick Stewart going, "Oh, Thor, you've really titted it up this time, haven't you?"
You seen that episode of Extras where he's like, "Get off the grass," but I don't get off the grass.
I've seen that episode of Extras, Zane. I'm surprised you're bringing it up in this podcast. I've got this power where I look at a lady's clothes. I look at a lady, and then all her clothes fall off, and she's scrabbling. She's trying to get her clothes back, but I've seen everything.
It's the outtakes where he just can't get through it one time without crying with laughter.
I love Patrick Stewart so much.
What
Knight
a
of the
gem.
Realm. He is like there are very few people. So we have this thing in this country. I don't think Americans have it necessarily in the same kind of way, but like we refer to people, certain celebrities and people in the public eye as like national treasures. So Stephen Fry, for example, is a national treasure. Graham Norton's a national treasure, even though he's Irish. But Patrick Stewart is like a national treasure, man. Him and Ian McKellen are national treasures. I'm trying to think of like an equivalent in America. I guess like Mr. Rogers maybe would be like a national treasure.
Sure.
One of the guys on Jeopardy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of one as well. It's kind of like someone who's been there from the. You just instantly recognize from like your childhood.
Instantly recognize and immediately love as well. It takes a lot to hate them.
Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure we would probably have, like, if they were to pass away, we'd probably have, like, a remembrance day based on it.
What, for Patrick Stewart?
Yeah.
It's probably getting to that level. It's the same with Judi Dench. We'll probably have to have a Memorial Day for Judi Dench when she passes away.
And
Maggie Smith. Has Maggie Smith died yet?
No.
Okay, this is getting morbid. Sorry. Let's move away from it. Back to Investor Day. Carry on, Zane.
I'll tell you who could be a national treasure in America. Tom Hanks.
Yes, he's a national treasure. He is a national treasure for Americans. Correct. I will give you that. Because when you said, "I tell you who could be in it," I thought you meant what, in National Treasure 5? Or is this journey to the center of Nicolas Cage?
Can you imagine if he was the guide? Like, I met Nick once.
Can you just imagine if that's the plot to National Treasure 5? Can you just imagine this for a minute? I've created the ultimate vault. It's inside me. No one will ever crack it.
Tom Hanks has to go like full Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then he gets crazy Ian McKellen to try and read it. Anyway.
On the subject of Tom Hanks, Pinocchio, a live-action adaptation, will be released later this year, starring Tom Hanks as Geppetto.
Wow, I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Oh, Pinocchio, why are your nose so big? I apologize for any offense that my accent might have incurred. I apologize profusely. Wow, that's cool. I mean, if there's any person who can make that kind of... So is it a live action version of the... Or is I'm assuming it's not a cartoon. It's a live action version of the famous...
Yeah. So similar how we've had like live action adaptations of Aladdin and, following that sort of theme. So, yeah.
Very hit and miss, though. They're very hit and miss, aren't they? The live action versions. I didn't really take to The Jungle Book and The Lion King. I liked the Aladdin. I actually, you know what? I'm going to prefix this with saying not as good as the cartoon. Definitely not as good. But I actually liked the Aladdin film. I went into it with zero expectations, and I actually came out quite enjoying it. So, yeah, that could be good. That could be really good, the Pinocchio. I got no strings to hold me down.
Can't wait to see that terrifying scene where boys get turned into donkeys.
I wonder what you were going to say then. I thought you were going to say, I can't wait to see that
terrifying
scene. I can't wait to see that terrifying scene where we have the inevitable Disney crossover and Pinocchio becomes Ultron and kills Geppetto. Got no strings.
Great soundtrack. What else is happening? You'll love this. The global sensation that is Avatar will be getting his sequel this December. A decade in the works.
Oh my god!
Can you imagine? Is your body ready for the cinema experience that is Avatar 2?
Is my body ready for James Cameron to use and abuse cinema again? No, it's not ready. Oh, God. Who gives a rat's ass about Avatar now? I mean, for God's sake. I was having this conversation with somebody in my work the other day where it's like they were saying to me, oh, yeah, you don't really see that many 3D films anymore, do you? And I was like, no, you don't, because it was a fad. It was a fad in the 50s. It was a fad in the 80s when they brought it back. It's been a fad since James Cameron brought it back again. Mm-hmm. Just move on, Cameron, from this mortal coil. Move on.
Oh, boy.
I'm not a fan. I just want to say this right now. James Cameron until 1996, amazing, absolutely incredible. Everything he did was gold dust, pretty much. Like, really, you think about some of the films he did: Terminator 1 and 2, Aliens, True Lies, like amazing films, all the way up to from Titanic onwards. He just didn't care anymore. He doesn't care anymore, Zane. He cares, but he doesn't care. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like he's lost his passion.
Yes. He's like, oh, I've got a cupboard at home where they're full of Oscars, and I just, it's annoying because it broke one of my favorite shelves because I got too many of them. So don't really care anymore.
I feel like I may have to rewatch Avatar. Like, I haven't seen it since it was at the cinema.
So same here, and I hated it.
Same, because I felt like it was a retelling of Pocahontas.
You can say Pokemon then.
I nearly said Pinocchio.
It's a retelling of Pokemon. Pokemon, Navi's my best friend.
Gotta catch all the Navis.
Exactly. It's just such an Speaking personally here, if you like Avatar, great. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. Fantastic. I'm not going to tell you what to watch and not to watch. If you don't want to watch something, then don't watch it. If you do want to watch something, watch it. For me, the world of the Na'vi is so boring. It's so unbelievably boring. And like this weird sex scene where they like merge their hair. Like, and it's like, yeah, I get it. It's a commentary on corporate greed and killing the rainforest and stuff like that. Yes, I agree. We shouldn't kill the rainforest, guys. We need it. I get it. Like, I do understand that. I don't need James Cameron to tell me that.
Yeah.
And me to pay £10 to watch a film that I'm going to come out of going, did I just watch a video for corporate consumerism and how to save the planet? I think I did. But then how am I going to transplant myself into a blue body?
Did this kill Sam Warburton's career? Or was it Clash of Titans?
Isn't it Worthington? I don't think it's Warburton.
Is it Worthington?
It's Sam Worthington, isn't it? I don't think it's Warburton.
Like the bread. Warburton.
It's not like the bread. I think it's Sam Worthington, isn't it? If it turns out it's Sam... Yeah, it's Worthington, not Warburton. What are you talking about? Yeah, this turned Sam Worthington from an A-lister into a loaf of bread.
He was up and coming. Like, he was in Terminator Salvation. He just had a lot of bad hits, I think. Terminator Salvation.
Would you like me to run through Sam Worthington's amazing list of films since Avatar?
From Worthington to Warburton. Yeah.
From Worthington to Warburton. Let's have a deep dive. So, he has done some good stuff, man. He has been in some good stuff since. It's just blink and you'd miss it. So, let's have a look. So, 2009 was Avatar. Actually, that was the same year as Terminator Salvation.
Ooh. That
was that year, 2009. 2010 is where it all starts to go a bit wrong. Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
He was also in The Debt. And then famously, he came back for 2012's Wrath of the Titans.
Nice.
And then he's obviously been in such A-list films that we all recognize. Sabotage. Cake. Kidnapping Mr. Heineken. He did start to pick about. He was in Hacksaw Ridge, which I guess is amazing. I haven't seen it.
Me neither.
he's in something that I have seen, which is excellent, and I'm not being facetious when I say this. It's a Netflix series called Manhunt, and it was the Manhunt for the Unabomber.
Oh, yeah.
That is excellent. He's very good in it as well. Like
Okay.
I'll give him credit where credit's due. That is great. But yeah, his career really stalled. Really stalled after Wrath of the Titans.
Wasn't he in a film called Man on a Ledge? Man on a Ledge or Man on the Edge?
Man on a Ledge. Yes, he was.
Man on a Ledge. Yeah.
Is that the hell is that about? As police psychologist works to talk down an ex-con who was threatening to jump from Manhattan hotel rooftop, the biggest diamond heist ever committed is in motion.
Oh, yes.
What an amazing cast list as well. That's an amazing cast list. Sam Worthington, Elizabeth Banks, Jamie Bell, Anthony Mackie,
Mm-hmm.
and Ed Harris. Okay, I want to watch this now. William Sadler's in this. What is... Oh my God, this is amazing.
It really gave me that film.
Titus Welliver's in this. Bosch is in this. What is this? I'm super excited. Yeah. Right, I need to find this. Sorry. Carry on, Zane.
It gave me those vibes of The Phone Booth with Colin Farrell.
Oh, it's on Netflix as well. Oh, man. Me and my wife are totally watching that later. We were looking for a film to watch tonight. Thanks, man.
No worries.
Awesome.
We're on a massive tangent on a man whose name...
I don't care about the investor thing. I want to watch Man on a Ledge. Go on, carry on.
We also got some Marvel news. Of course, Moon Knight will be out at the end of this month, of the 30th of March. We also learnt the sequence that they'll be released. So we'll have Moon Knight, then Miss Marvel, and then later on, towards the end of the year, we'll get She-Hulk.
She-Hulk. Nice. Very nice.
It's a nice
there
little
was wasn't there an image that was, I don't know whether it was part of this or not, but there's an image of Tatiana Maslany as She-Hulk now. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't. No.
I'll try and find it for you whilst you're talking.
They also announced that there'll be a Cars series for Disney Plus and a Baymax series based on Big Hero 6. And as I mentioned earlier, we'll be getting a National Treasure, some sort of spin-off or expansion. And of course, the announcement of Andor, the series, and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan, I'm a Jedi, Scottish Obi-Wan. I've just sent you a link. It's I tell a slight lie. It's concept art for the marketing for the show, but it actually shows her as She-Hulk. So it is Tatiana Maslany as She-Hulk. So you get an idea of what she's going to look like. There it is. On a thermos. So yeah, I mean it's fairly traditional to what we expect. So that's pretty cool. Should we have a conversation then about Obi-Wan?
Yes, let's talk about that big old trailer.
So for those of you listening in who are of the same age as me, which is let's just say mid-30s, I will if you grew up loving Star Wars and if you grew up loving the prequels, not the prequels, I didn't love them, but like if you grew up watching the prequels, I think that you probably were like me, where as soon as the Duel of the Fates kicked in, oh my God, did the goosebumps on the back of my neck go up?
Yes. Yeah.
This trailer was fantastic. And like, Ewan McGregor looks really fit in this. Like he's proper thin and like svelte. I was like, McGregor, you sexy devil.
Yeah. He's grown his hair out, grown the beard out. It's looking good.
He looks fantastic. Honestly, marrying or being with Mary Elizabeth Winstead obviously sits with him very well. So there you go. And who wouldn't it? So I mean, as far as kind of the Obi-Wan content of this trailer, it was actually fairly light on Obi-Wan content, which I was quite surprised by.
Same.
We didn't really get a lot. I mean, we've got him kind of like being on Tatooine and doing bits and bobs and watching over Luke when he's growing
Sitting
up.
in carts. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The
And
back of
just
trucks.
looking all smoldery, like a sexy Jedi. I think that the bigger kind of revelation of this was the inclusion of the Inquisitors.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is huge because it's the first time we've seen them in live action.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you who don't know who the Inquisitors are, if you've watched Star Wars Rebels and if you've played Jedi Fallen Order, they are the elite hit squad of Darth Vader. So they are Jedi hunters who scour the galaxy looking for the massive amount of Jedis that weren't killed as per Order 66, because there seems to be a new one every week. And it's their job to hunt them down. I can't remember how many Inquisitors there are. Is there 9 or...
I remember there being a 10th brother in the comics.
Okay. So maybe it's 12. It might be 12 Inquisitors then. They all are sequentially first sister, second brother, or whatever it is.
It's crazy to see them in live action, considering over over the last 10 years, maybe they've been spreading out into, like you say, different multimedias, comics, video games, the animated series and such. And now we finally get to see them in live action, similar to Cad Bane in the Book of Bob.
So expect them to be in one episode and then killed immediately. No, so we already know, actually. So if this rings true as far as keeping canon is concerned, so it looks like the Grand Inquisitor, who's the one in I'm assuming he's the one doing the voiceover, talking about how the Jedi are like they can't help but be good. It's like an itch, He's also the guy who has that. Well, they all have them, but that crazy spinning lightsaber that you see at the end, where it starts. He dies in Rebels, so he gets killed by Ezra Bridger. Spoilers, sorry for Rebels, but he dies in Rebels at the hands of Kanan Jarrus and Ezra Bridger. So unless they're planning on folding in Ezra and Kanan into this series, and he's actually hunting them, and they find Obi-Wan, and I don't know how it's going to work, but I would be look, the one thing that we know from this 100%, right? We know who's not going to die, and Obi-Wan's not going to die. Obi-Wan's not going to die. Vader's not going to die in this. All right.
Yeah.
So with those two parts, anyone who comes up against Obi-Wan, like in terms of trying to kill him in a duel, they're dead. They're going to die. Like you can just predict it. So there was a rumor that we talked about it on the podcast last week or the week before. I can't remember what it was, but there was a rumor that they're going to introduce a new Jedi. I can't remember what their name was now, Null or something, like it's a single syllable. And maybe this is the deal. Maybe the Inquisitors are hunting this person and they go to Obi-Wan for help. That's the only thing I can think of to pull him back into what's
shenanigans.
Happening. We can obviously see a lot of it is not. It's not necessarily going to take place on Tatooine, because there's a lot of rooftop fights and stuff like that in the trailer as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, I've been hyped for the Kenobi series for a long time. I've wanted this for a long time. I reading the novel, that because they released a novel book called Kenobi, which is his adventures on Tatooine between 3 and 4. So I've wanted a Kenobi series or movie for ages, and I think of all the things that happened during the prequels and all the bad things that came out of the prequels, the one really good thing was Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. There's no two ways about it. He's excellent as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I want to see more.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on this one, Zane, on this trailer?
It looks incredible. Like you said, I'm surprised how much we get to see of Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. It feels like 2 or 3 snippets, and the rest is kind of like the different worlds we're going to visit, the castle or fortress of the Inquisitors. It feels like they've kind of introduce the Inquisitors to a wider audience just in case. Like, these are the baddies, and they got red lightsabers as well, which I think is really cool. The earlier you introduce the villains, the better. Yeah, I think it just looks amazing. And like you said, I'm really interested to see where they go with it, because we know there's going to be Vader in this, and they're probably going to have the crescendo's probably going to be them having another fight. But then
there's been a lot of speculation about that, because there's a line that Vader says in there's a line that Vader says in A New Hope, where he says, "When I left you, I was just the apprentice. Now I am the master." And a lot of people are speculating that, like, everyone thought he was referring to when they had that fight on Mustafar, but a lot of people are now speculating, oh, maybe this is Vader, as in, like, the last time they met, between that point in time, because it's never really established what happens to Obi-Wan during that time.
Because this is set 9 years before the events of A New Hope.
Yes.
There's a lot of, which means I guess there's a lot of breathing room to do stuff. And also, like, again, I'm just going to open the speculation window a bit more. If they do somehow get a second series done, I imagine we'll probably see him fight Darth Maul in the second series. I think it'd be too much to try and cram a fight with Darth Maul in this series.
Okay. Yes, however, this is why I don't know. Okay, so this is why I don't know if the Rebels series is canon again, because he fights Darth Maul in Rebels and kills him.
Yeah,
I mean, like, very easily as well. Like, it's a literal 2-hit kill, and he's gone. I don't know. I don't know on that. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to go through some of the stuff. So we've like in the trailer, because I've just found a little breakdown. So obviously, yeah, we see the scenes of him in exile on Tatooine, and then in some, I think he goes to a planet called Dayu, I think is what it's called. I think that's where all the rooftop fights and stuff happen on. And then
which looks like a real cool setting, like gives that Blade Runner vibe.
It reminds me of the the one in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah,
where he's like yeah, exactly, that scene. Yeah, it reminds me of that area. And then we've got Luke, who's apparently 10 years old in this. That's his age. I can't remember when he goes off to war in A New Hope, so it must be 19 then, if it's 9 years later.
I guess so. Young Luke.
So
we get to see Uncle Owen in this trailer.
Yes, I was going to talk about Uncle Owen. Joel Edgerton is actually back as Uncle Owen as well. It is actually Joel Edgerton who played him in the prequels. So that's a good little tie-in, because so the third sister that you were talking about is Reva. I think she's the one who's in Fallen Order. I think she's the main one that Cal has the fights with in Jedi Fallen Order. You haven't played it? I see
where you're going. I've played it, but there's a thing at the end, isn't there? Fallen Order.
Yes, there is a thing at the end of Fallen Order. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to look that up. Hang on a second. Is Reva in Fallen Order?
What a great callback that Joel's come back to, because that was right at the beginning of his career as well, to be in like Revenge of the Sith.
I know. Oh, that's annoying. Somebody's put up a full res image of the Grand Inquisitor, and they've said he looks like the Mask. He's so smoky.
Nice.
Yes. Okay, so this is all right. So these are the confirmed Inquisitors so far. Got Grand Inquisitor from Rebels, second sister from Jedi Fallen Order, so it's the second sister, it's not Reva. Third sister is an Obi-Wan Kenobi. Fifth brother is in Rebels. Sixth brother is in the Ahsoka novel. Seventh sister is in Rebels. Eighth brother is in Rebels. Ninth sister is in the Darth Vader comic, and then Jedi Fallen Order. So that's the one I'm thinking of. And then 10th brother is in the Darth Vader comic. Presumably the other Inquisitor in the Obi-Wan trailer is the fourth sister, but it's not been confirmed. So there are 10. Right. There are 10 Inquisitors. Let's have a look. Rupert Friend is the Grand Inquisitor. That's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to that. Sun Kang is the fifth brother. And then there's a new Thelonian sister. Double-bladed spinning lightsabers. Yes, very nice, very nice. Escape pods, Joel Edgerton as Uncle Owen. Fortress Inquisitorius on Ner. That is the castle that you were talking about.
That's the castle, yeah.
It is the underwater base of the Inquisitors. It's located on the moon of Ner in the Mustafar system. The reason why that's important is that Mustafar is where Darth Vader's home castle is, I guess. There's a couple of things that have been pointed out in the trailer. So Idari Varma is an Imperial officer. So the lady who's in Game of Thrones, she's the she's not one of the Serpent sisters, but she's their mother. She's the wife of Pedro Pascal, the one who gets.
Oh yes,
the wife of So she's an Imperial officer, and it was rumored she was going to be in it. She's in it. It's in the trailer. There's some weird looking shots of potentially like a clone trooper, maybe. Doesn't look like a stormtrooper armor. It looks like clone trooper armor. They're definitely leaning into the prequel nostalgia with Battle of the Heroes and Duel of the Fates. A couple of things to note actually on this. Yeah, we didn't see much of Obi-Wan. We didn't see much of Hayden Christensen either as Vader.
No.
They've actually done. I think they have released a promo image out of him. They have. They've. Yeah, there's an image of him as Darth Vader, which I'll.
The concept artwork, is it, of him in the?
Nope. It's actually him in Obi-Wan. It's funny because like it's one of those situations where it's like you look at this picture, it could be Vader in any movie, but this is confirmed. This I'll put it up on the thing so you can see it. This is an image of Vader in Obi-Wan. That is an official scene from Obi-Wan.
From Entertainment.
Yeah, from Entertainment Weekly.
Got you.
I mean, like I said, it could be Obi-Wan, it could be Rogue One, it could be any number of things. But yes, that is an official still of Hayden Christensen as Vader in Kenobi. I can't wait, man. I can't wait for this series. I'm so excited. You know, if it needs, as long as it's like The Mandalorian or the end of the Book of Boba Fett, then I'll be very, very happy. But it's going to hit the nostalgia feels just having Obi-Wan back.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Do you think we'll get to see Ahsoka?
It depends. If Kanan Jarrus and Ezra Bridger are in this, maybe.
Okay.
If they're not, and if it's just about Kenobi and this other unknown Jedi, no, I don't think we will. But I wouldn't be surprised if the unknown Jedi turns up in the Ahsoka series.
That's true. Yeah,
it's all interwoven.
Maybe
we will. You know what? No, actually, no. I'm going to take that back. Yes, I do think we will see her in this. You know what? Because that's a damn good way of having big fight sequences between Vader and her without Obi-Wan needing to be involved in it.
I see. Yeah.
Because let's face it, with the exception of Rebels and the bits that we've seen in The Mandalorian, we know nothing about Ahsoka apart from the comics. So
yeah,
and we've already seen a fight sequence, which is awesome, by the way, between her and Vader in Rebels.
Yeah.
So maybe she's the one Jedi that Vader can't kill.
So sweet.
I mean, so poetic. He trained her.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh.
I love Star Wars. I've always loved Star Wars, but I think that the sequel trilogy was it got very lost. Unfortunately, very quickly. The TV series have really brought them back to what I believe Star Wars should be.
They've given it a whole new lease of life in the franchise, I think. So yeah, without a doubt. I'm really excited to see this. I hope there's no Star Killer. I've seen a few people kind of like, where's Star Killer? He was so OP in the video games.
Yes, he was. That's why he's not in these anymore. Also, that was a terrible thing. Like, he's the reason why the Rebel Alliance exists.
Yeah, that was a bit jank.
I mean, it was canon. It was actual canon.
Yeah, I know. I remember like playing it and I'd be like, oh, wow. And then I'm like, oh, actually, no, that's a bit cheap.
Yeah. The only thing that's really good about that when you look back on those games was when you could do the what ifs where Starkiller kills Luke and Han and all those other people.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, those DLCs were cool.
Those DLCs were cool. I really like the concept of the Starkiller Vader appearance as well, where he Emperor warped him into this horrible monster. And he was like just basically a Sith assassin after that and went around murdering all these people. That was very cool. But yeah, I like the first Force Awakens. The second one was a bit meh. But,
had good costumes, the second one.
And lightsabers. They all have good lightsabers and costumes, don't they? But yes.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no. Well, it was a bit of a weird one, Investor Day, this year, wasn't it? Because last year we got a massive load of stuff out of it. And this year kind of felt a bit of a whimper. My question to you on that is, do you think that's because the pandemic's... by the way, guys, it's not completely over. Be careful out there. But the life is returning to some semblance of normality. Do you think that's now people are kind of like yearning for more stuff in cinema and yearning for more stuff on TV, so they're not really announcing that much stuff now? I don't know what the feel is. What do you think?
The way they talked about, there's two ways you could look at this whole presentation, because they of course talked about the success of Disney Plus, how the Marvel series has done so well for the platform, of course, of the sort of releases of Pixar movies like Encanto. You've got Big Red, I think it's called, that's out like tomorrow from where we're recording this. So I think for them, they're really happy with the success and of course the revenue that has brought in. They seem to be, they mentioned of course about how much content they're going to be working on in the background and such. But the other sort of other hand of this is the success of their theme parks after the pandemic, and they said revenue was really good during the Omicron phase of the pandemic, so they still open, and park was, I don't think everything was available in their parks, but they did have available and such. But they seem super excited about the Star Wars cruise. I can't remember what it's called, the Galactic Cruise, I think.
The Galactic Cruise,
it's like a 2-day event.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I mean, it's like the ultimate LARPing experience, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Disney are basically making more money than God now, essentially, isn't it? Let's be honest, So you don't even have to worry about it anymore. But no, the Galactic Cruise looks all right, and I do want to go to. I still want to go to Disneyland in Orlando and check out the Star Wars park
Galaxy's
they created
Edge.
there. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
They're going to be doing a Guardians of the Galaxy part as well.
Guardians of the Galaxy Edge. Wow, that's incredible, Zane. Who would have thought?
No, it's called Cosmic Rewind. There's going to be like an indoor roller coaster, which has a reverse launch.
What they end the roller coaster before they put it on you?
No,
you get in the queue, you stand there, you watch the roller coaster go all the way around, then you get on at the end, and then they just move you an inch and say, "There you go, that's the reverse launch."
Yeah.
Yes.
Indoors
Well,
and everything.
welcome to the experience.
Yeah. And then Rocket the raccoon jumps out and says, "Ah!"
Yeah, that's it. If there's anything I know about Rocket, it's traditionally that he goes, "Ah!" Yeah, nice one, Zane.
Yeah.
Good one.
I mean, that's how Bradley Cooper gets paid.
And it's, oh my God, just think about that. That man earns more money than us coughing.
In joggers.
Yeah, exactly. He said, "It's a real laugh." Anyway, well, yes, it was interesting going through the investment talk, doodah, jiggery poo, whatever you want to call it. I don't know whether we'll go, because we'll probably go through fandom as well this year, won't we? If they do it this year.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're cutting down a lot of this actually because the cons are going to be starting again.
Yeah, I wonder as well. At the same time, you've got like, is it the Disney Expo, which is kind of like the new Marvel sort of con now, isn't it?
Also, May the 4th.
Yes.
Yeah. I've got to save some stuff for May the 4th as well. God, it's all, I don't know. It's all weird, isn't it? But what did you guys think of the Disney Investor Day? Did you enjoy it? Did it give you everything you wanted and more? Did you just, like me, just really absorb the Obi-Wan trailer and that's it? You know, give a monkeys about any of these other stats? Let us know. Zane, where can they get in touch with us?
You can get in touch with us on Instagram, Twitter, all that jazz. Undisputed _nerds. On all those platforms. Of course, you can email us, nerdsundisputed@gmail.com. All the relevant links will be in description down below.
Lovely. And they can message you personally and chastise you on Instagram as well, can't they?
They can do, yeah, at Zane_Taisho.
And you can reach me at Gentleman Gamer on the gram. I'm also on Twitch. I am currently playing through Detroit Become Human. I did my first episode last night. It was really fun. Even though it turns out I'm a self-sacrificing monster who will just get people killed because I want to save other people. Who would have thought? But yes, come join me there. I don't know what we're doing next week. What are we doing next week?
We got a list of things to choose from. And
yeah, we're going to have to get our backlog, aren't we? I don't think
Yeah.
there's anything out this week that we're particularly kind of like excited to cover, is there?
No, I don't think there is. We're just waiting for Moon Knight.
You may just be waiting for Moon Knight. I'm waiting for Nicolas Cage's unbearable weight of acting talent. We'll definitely have to cover that on the show. That'll be our best episode ever. But yeah, we'll come up with something. Might do another tier list. We haven't done a tier list for a while.
That's true. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, whatever we do and whatever you do, we hope you have a fantastic week. And we will catch you on the down low next week.
Oh, hey. Catch you next week. Ciao.